Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Good. Hope everyone can hear me well. That's good. All righty. The pictures are coming on board now. That's good. All righty. Normally, we'd be broadcasting from Lilydale, New York, one of the oldest spiritualist communities in the world, and I live there. We live up there in the summer and come down to Fort Myers in the winter, and I'm actually broadcasting right now from Fort Myers. And we were going to have a little bit of a class here going. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Now, what I was going to start with is just my information for the moment. So it's on there and you have it. Now, to reach me would be 716-595-3529 would be a phone number. That'd be 716-595-3529. If you'd like to go on the website, that would be www.rev, Gregory Kehn, KEHN.com. That'd be Rev, Gregory Kehn, KEHN.com. That'd be the website to go to. And other information is on there as to when and where I'm going to be and what's going on. And tonight, I'd like to start with a thought. I've had so many people say to me about saving the planet, saving the world, and healing everything in the planet. And I find it interesting that it's like, to me, and my thought would be, I want to go and look at what is harming the planet, and that's humans, and what we're doing and how we're maneuvering and manipulating things, and sort of a disregard at times for nature and other planetary connections. You know, I've had some people say to me they're healing the planet, but if we have the plague going on and we don't fix the plague is going to continue. And even though we're trying to heal the planet, how are we going to heal the planet if it's a continuous plague to disrupt things? And I look at people at times and I want to go back to what's really the issue. And the issue would be the idea of the healing of the people and the understanding and the spirituality and spiritual understanding that we're needing to come to. I find it interesting that I've had so many people say to me, well, they keep sending energy out to heal the planet and healing energy. And I believe in a meditative way. I think that's wonderful. But let's heal the people and let's heal the energies of the world around us. I mean, I don't like watching the news, and I do watch the Weather Channel, but I honestly feel the planet is very sensitive and very aware and very in tune to what's going on with mankind. And I think mankind can really mess the vibration up considerably. I think we can mess the vibration up in our own personal life considerably, but I think it's also something that we do to everything around us and everyone around us. And I really feel that by us being the attunement of the example and the healing energy, and to be able to share that even verbally and emotionally with others, I think would be a wonderful energy, and that would be really very helpful. And I know I was at a meeting here. I hold classes in Florida down here in Bonita Beach area, and I've had them on Wednesday nights. And we had a gentleman there one time that he said to me, he said, well, I'm so concerned about the planet. I'm focused on healing the planet. I'm sending this energy to the planet all the time. And he was really beside himself over the idea that the planet was in such disruption. And I brought it to his attention that why is the planet in such disruption, you know, with mankind and our belief systems? And we're here to learn and grow, and the planet will heal on its own. It'll really take care of, it's like a big dog shaking off anything that comes at it. I really feel that we're a very small challenge here compared to some of the things that we have going on in the world. And I really feel with nature, we've had so many things occurring. You know, you look at different parts of the planet and you have all the things happening with earthquakes and volcanoes and under the ocean earthquakes, tsunamis. I mean, I really feel if this planet decides to clean something up, it can do a really good job. And we're needing to look at the idea of healing our minds, our thoughts, and our belief systems, that we're, in a sense, working with nature instead of really just being incredibly self-centered with our own energy. You know, I've worked with healing all my life, and I've always enjoyed it. And working with healing, I've worked with laying on of hands, I've worked with absent healing. So you have all these venues of things that you can be doing and bringing about an energy of healing. And I feel whether it's our workplace, whether it's our family, whether it's through friendships or just even strangers we meet, by the example we're presenting, we're shifting their energy in a positive way. And it's if we have that desire to heal the planet, let's heal us. And as we work with healing us, we're going to bring about that balance that we're really needing. And I see it all the time. I watch people, if you hold the door for them, I have some people that'll say thank you and they'll smile. I have some people look at you strange, like, what do you want? And I'm just teasing, but it's like want to put their hand over their wallet pocket. It's like there's an energy there of people having that attitude. And I find it's just sort of amazing. I had it happen recently where one couple walked through and I'd held the door open and they walked through and they thanked me and smiled, and it was a really nice energy, and they were very caring people. And I also did it another time, and I had some guy walk through and just glance at me and wouldn't even look me in the face hardly, and his energy was really not nice. And I look at that at times and I thought, just send him the energy, send him the healing, send him the love. And I was doing that. And in the parking lot, as he was going to his car, he stopped for a moment, turning to open the car door, and he stood there and looked at me. And I could feel the energy from him of, what is with this guy? What's he doing? So don't think you're not having an effect on people by being able to work with and present the energy in a healing, loving manner, that people do respond to it. I know a lot of people at times question that, but I don't look at it that way. I give the energy. I don't even think about it. I just give the energy. It's automatic, and we share that healing energy. And I see people, whether they're thinking of responding to it in a positive level or not, I really believe they do, because they don't know what to do with it. Because you're outside of the realm of negativity, you're outside of the realm of manipulation, you're coming at it from a healing energy. And when you approach it in that form, how could they not be affected in a positive manner? At the very least, it makes them question, why did that happen? And for what reason am I experiencing that? And I look at things occurring in that manner and really understanding that if we put the energy out there, they may not respond at the moment, but planting that seed of wisdom, guidance, and love is going to change things for them and change things for you. And it's going to shift things and make it a better energy overall. I was taught healing in the healing temple at Lilydale, my mother, my grandmother on back 4 generations. And it was something that I was always taught to work with the healing energy, laying on of hands. I remember being on the farm where I grew up, and if we had a run of the litter of any animals, my mother and grandmother would wrap them up in a towel or have them near me and just say, okay, work on them. And just keep sending the energy to them and bringing the healing energy in. And that's something I believe we can do mentally and emotionally with every day of our life and every person we come in contact with. And I believe that's the way to change the planet and heal the planet, is to heal the people on the planet and bring that balance into their lives and some understanding. No matter how minor or what we would think of as minor, I really feel it's a major energy, and it's a major shift of energy. So I think that's something we need to look at and realize that that can be brought about. I've also had some people recently make comments that somehow they're having more happen intuitively. They're having more happen, I'll term it mediumistically. And there are times they'll taken back by it because they may have gone most of their life without having a lot going on. And all of a sudden it's like, why am I picking up on things before they happen? Why do I feel things with this other person? And I recognize that through the conversation you have with them, that you're absolutely right in what you're picking up on. I believe that our planet, in a sense of the whole of mankind, is going through quite a stressful time. And I'm saying this in a joking manner, but I've had some people get very upset with the political things going on and all the stuff happening in that manner. And I look at it as something that if we need to sit back and evaluate, why are the experiences occurring that we're facing and we're experiencing? What are we learning from it? What are we gaining from it? And not look at it as something that we're judging it as good or bad, or we're judging it as a circumstance we want to get away from or we want to be involved in. To look at the idea of what are we learning from it and why is it occurring in that form? And if we start looking at it in that form, we then really bring a healing energy in because we can recognize what we're gaining and learning by the experience we're having. And I find that there's many times we don't look at what's really going on, like people talking about healing the planet. It's like, let's work on healing the population on the planet, which I think could really be such a loving healing energy for the planet. I know different pockets and environments and organizations that are doing so much work to bring harmony and calmness not only to mankind, but bring harmony and calmness to the planet and nature. You know, Thelma Carmen, when I was just a child, was the head of the healing temple at Lilydale. And I was certified with healing there when I was about 12. And she taught classes, and I was in her class all the time. And it was really interesting because her approach to healing was such an in-depth energy that she was a tiny, frail-built woman, and she could put her hands on you. And I've watched people literally just black out in the chairs, and they'd be gone. Their head would just fall forward, and she'd be hanging onto their shoulders. And it's like they're gone. And the healing energy is there, and it flows through them. I've watched auras expand through the whole front of the healing temple when she'd work on someone. And it's just fascinating to look at the energy and the power that can be there that is such a loving, healing energy. And as a child, I learned to work with that, whether it's humans or animals. I've always enjoyed that. And it's something that I feel that we really consciously have gotten away from, utilizing the healing energy in a sense of our handshake, holding a door for someone, a courtesy of sharing energy. And what I mean by sharing energy is just a good thought, a good energy. You see someone, like there was one lady today, I walked in the store, and there was one lady today standing out front waiting for her ride. And we said hello and how are you? And it's like she lit up. Her energy lit up, her healing energy lit up, and it was a wonderful energy that was shared. And I think if we do that more, and we're more deliberate on slowing down a little bit in the conscious physical world and recognize that soul connection with everyone else, I think it's going to be pretty amazing. And even the ones that walk by and supposedly don't notice, put out the energy, send the energy, because it does have a big effect. I've had people sometimes days later or months later make a comment to me that they don't know why they feel drawn to me. And I've been around hospitals where you'd have people that mentally and emotionally had difficulties. And a friend of mine was an orderly at one of these hospitals one time. And he said to me, he says, every time you come, because I was meeting them to go out to go have lunch. And I'm in the area where there are some of the people that are there. And they were drawn to me. They'd come and sit beside me. They'd walk up and talk to me. And the one head nurse, she said, "Do you work in a hospital?" And I said, "No, I don't work in a hospital." I said, "But I'm a minister." And I said, "I work with healing." And I said, laying out of hands. And at that time, they were sort of open to it, but really a little questioning outside of a church setting. It was a little questioning for them. And I got to talking with this one gentleman that was there, and he was very disturbed. And even the orderly was like standing back and sort of watching him to see if he was going to be aggressive or not. And I'm talking to him, and they moved him out of the room that had the window. And he used to sit in his room on the bed and watch the deer and watch the animals run around the edge of the grass in the woods. And it was just therapy for him. And they moved him from that room to a room that had no window. And he was really cranky. And they were a little worried because they were trying to up his meds to calm him down. And I'm talking to him, and I kept picking up how much he loved nature and how much he enjoyed looking at nature, and that nature would recognize his energy as non-threatening. And they'd come right up to the window area where he'd be in his room. And I said to the gentleman that's a friend of mine, I said, "Well, this is what's going on with this guy, and that's why he's upset." I said, he needs to be either in the room he was in or another room where he could actually just watch nature. And I said, he'll calm right down. So he made a comment to the head person there, and the head nurse or whoever they were came and talked to me and said, how did you get this out of them? And I said, well, I work with healing. And I said, I was just working with them with the healing energy and kept sending them this healing energy. And they were a little like shake their head and walk away, but they moved him to a room with a window again, and he got to watch nature. And they said he calmed right down. But it's like, look at the effect we can have when other people don't see it, don't know it, and don't understand it. We can have a huge effect on people. And that's healing the planet. It's healing the people and the vibration. Can you imagine being sensitive enough that you feel things from everybody around you? When I was a child, I felt things around me from everyone. I would feel so much vibration from so many people that I would just shut down and pull back and not want to be around groups of people. And I learned to create a filter and create a little more of a barrier around me that's protective. And it's almost like saying, I put this magic bubble around me as a child, and I kept it at arm's reach. Now, whatever I chose to be open to, I could be open to and be very in tune to. I wasn't missing anything. There was nothing lacking. But I was realizing how much there was there that was going on, that for my own self-preservation, I pulled back and shut down. And now I understand it. When I was 11, I died three times in a week and lost 26 pounds, and I had 106 temperature, and I went through the tunnel of light, and I experienced being in heaven, and my grandmother was there, and Jesus was there, and I experienced going across the river, walking across the river. So there's many things I've experienced as a child that I look at, and I see the physical world, and I understand why I didn't really want to be here and see all the painfulness of what was going on. But after the experience of going to heaven 3 times and coming back, I now understand not only why I'm here, and what I've been doing is exactly what I was taught to do and worked with, being guided to do. And it's something that we're needing to understand. We all take that same walk. It's just that how much are we going to be diverted by the conscious level rhetoric of energy, as well as words, as well as people, as well as fear, and how are we going to really handle that? And if we can handle that by stepping back more and allowing ourselves to have that center point where we're calm, we're looking outside into the chaotic energy at times, but we're calm, and we're able to bring that balance and harmony to the people that we can touch. And I think that makes a huge, huge difference in bringing balance to everyone. And I look at the idea that, like, for example, being here in Florida, getting away from Lloydale. Lloydale is just piled up with snow, and it's very cold up there. I think the wind chill was like 18 below for a while there a couple of days ago. I do a radio show from Dunkirk, and and I did it on Tuesday morning, 8 to 9, and it was just so cold. And Dan, the announcer, said to me, he goes, "It was so doggone cold." He says, "I could hardly get the get the ice off the windows." So it's like, if we look at our lives and realize where we're choosing to be in tangible physical world, now that is also tangible physical thought. Where are we at? What are we doing? How are we handling it? And then to look at what we can bring harmony into with our own thinking. I really believe our mind is incredibly powerful, and we're in touch with spirit as much as we're in touch with the physical world. But we're needing to allow ourselves to understand we let the physical world, in a sense, take over, and we're needing to sit back and realize a balancing of that, allowing the harmony to be there. I've had a few people recently just on the phone reading for them that they've been incredibly uptight and emotional. And I find that everyone's been emotional. I've been noticing in Florida here the crazy drivers. And it's not just the half the United States here, but it's like the crazy driving and the attitudes people have that they're just not thinking. And I feel the awareness of being thoughtful and watchful in that way is a tangible level world, but yet it's a spiritual connection. We can send people energy, we can send them harmony and calmness. Let's bring that to the forefront and utilize that on a daily level. And I want to say every day. And it's something that I think people at times we forget about because we're so caught up in our tangible world. We'll do some questions.
Sure. Someone has a question.
If someone has a question, please raise your hand. May I see your hand? No questions, huh?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, let me unmute him.
Hello.
Hang on. Hey.
A number of months ago, you made a comment in a class to pay attention to the weather. And the weather seems to be getting more chaotic, so I'm paying attention to the weather. But is there anything else you'd like to add to that? There's all kinds of conspiracy theories out there on the internet as to what's going on.
Think of it this way. The disruptiveness of what's going on in mankind, I believe, has an effect on the weather. And it's a direct reflection of the chaoticness we get in or we're creating. And I feel that the planet is reflecting the energy back to us and we're creating it. And I find with many people, look how angry people get and how frustrated they get. And I believe that we're having a lot of that occur in weather. It's related directly to us.
Okay. I'm seeing more and more people be really distracted. They're not present. Their head is somewhere else, and they can injure themselves and other people. It's just crazy out there.
Well, I had about 3 times today that I almost got ran into as we were going around and doing the things we needed to. And, people are not thinking. They're not alert and aware. They have a stop sign. They don't stop at it. They're going to drive right out in front of you. And you have the right of way, clearly. But it's something that they're just very, very unconnected. They're disconnected in many ways. And I've been watching that energy happen. And it's not just here. It's all over the planet. And I look at all the accidents and the energy that's occurring, and some of them you look at and think, how in the world can they have an accident in the middle of a freeway, not on an exit, and there's, like 3 lanes wide to drive down, and yet they have 3 and 4 and 5 cars all piled up. And you look at all that energy and you're like, okay, what's the disruptiveness that's occurring here?
Yes, I'm noticing the same thing here up in Canada. So I don't know. You really have to watch yourself because you can't rely on other people.
Well, I find that you can't rely on them because they're just really disconnected, and they're in some levels unaware of what they're doing. And it's like after the fact, it's like, oh, did I do that? And that's where I see people like when I mentioned holding the door for someone, you see them so caught up in their own energy that they're not even aware of you holding the door for them. They're just blasting through and doing what they want to do or need to do, and they ignore it all. And I find it fascinating, that to me has been more prevalent. I've seen that more now than what normally would be there.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's all over the planet. It's not just here, not just in Canada either. It's going to be everywhere. And this is where I feel that the more anchored we are in our energy of thoughts of healing and balance and harmony, we're going to bring that balance there, and it's going to make a huge difference.
Okay.
Think of it this way. When I do a circle, I always end the circle and I always repeat to people that we're beacons of light. And the beacon of light, as we touch others, they touch others, and it goes around the planet. Because how far away from we from others or strangers? They're only strangers because we haven't met them yet or had something involved with them. And to look at the idea of that energy of light, that we're touching people just by our presence. It doesn't mean we have to sit down and talk to them and try to convince them of anything. We're touching them with our presence. And if we can share that energy in our presence, it's going to really make a difference.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other question? Someone else want to raise their hand? No? We have 2 screens blocked out, and I'm not sure if they have any questions, not because I don't see them.
There she is.
Hi. You have a question, dear?
She shook her head, no.
No. Okay.
You wanna,
Hmm?
what else do you wanna do? Do any readings?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I'd like to do now is if somebody would like a little mini reading, I would go ahead and read for people a little bit. So whoever wants to get a mini reading, please raise your hand.
Okay.
I was looking at the screen. I'm not sure who was first here.
I get Richard D.
Richard D.
It's good.
Good. Hi, Richard. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. How you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Warmer weather than Lloydale. This is great.
Yeah.
I have friends up there that actually had to have somebody come and dig them out because they couldn't get their storm door open, and it was just that much snow. And it's interesting, to see such a transition of energy and weather. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of snow down here in Utah.
Uh-huh. What's your question?
Um, when doing readings, I'm trying to get to the point to slow it down,
Mm-hmm.
but it still seems like it's still coming in a little bit quick,
Mm-hmm.
but then not. It seems like it's going okay, but then it's kind of like it's still a catch-22 still.
Well, let me put it this way. I feel like you're actually picking up things very well, but I feel emotionally there's times you're looking at it and somewhat of a perfectionist that wanted to make sure it's really, really right.
Yeah.
And you're a person that wants to make certain that I have a positive impact and it's something meaningful. And I feel it is, but I feel there's times you'll pick it up. And then would you understand sometimes you sort of dissect it a bit?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I want to pick it up and I want to share what I'm picking up and not allow yourself the time to dissect it. Because when you allow the time to dissect it, it then becomes quite frustrating. And then it also weakens your ability to trust what you're getting because there's a debating going on then as to is it this, is it that, is it something else? And I feel with you, I want to give what you get right then and not allow yourself to have the time to debate it. If we sit back and think about it, we're in a sense changing the message of what Spirit's giving us.
Okay. So once you get it, it's good to just say it and see what the recipient says, kind of thing.
Yes, let them decipher what's there because sometimes Spirit will give us things that we would not consciously understand because it's really meant for the person we're reading for and they would understand it. I've had it happen many times where I'd pick up something and I've had people say to me in the auditorium, for example, at Lloydale, and they'd say to me afterwards and go, oh my God, I couldn't have given that. It's like they're looking for a basis of understanding and then they're going to feel confident in giving it. And I don't look for the basis of understanding. I look at it as the person will understand. And to have that faith and trust in your guides and teachers that when they bring this to you, that it's a pertinent, meaningful result that they're going to respond to. And when we're trying to prove it to ourselves, we're actually holding things back from the flow that needs to be.
Okay.
I've many times had people say to me, it's like amazing what you pick up and how did you pick that up? And I said, because I trust what I'm getting. And you're going to have the trust of what you're getting. And as that builds, the momentum builds on it. And it's something that then you're going to feel more at peace with it because then you have the purity of what you're getting. And in essence, I'll term it this way. By staying out of our own way, we're allowing Spirit to step in, but we're stepping aside and staying out of the way enough that we're letting the information be a flow and not be something that I get a little bit and I debate and question it, and I get a little more and I debate and question it. And then we sometimes may change what the meaning is because of our perception. And this is where they're given it in a manner that that person's perception is what's needed to be using it and utilizing it and not our perception. Because many times we wouldn't understand it.
So how would you know if it's coming as a psychic or a medium? Or does it really matter into?
Well, I look at it this way. I think we're all psychic, and I believe we're all mediumistic too. And I think it varies in degree back and forth. And I feel there's times where it is truly spirit without a doubt and it's just there. And that's when it's really the trust level. You're just giving it. And you may not even understand it, but you're just giving it. And then you have things where on a psychic level, people do pick up on things and spirit does guide that and it does come through in that manner. But I find that there's too many people at times trying to put this huge dividing line, let's say, and say this is psychic and that's mediumship. I really believe that if someone is giving something really general and they keep it general and they repeat things over and over general, it's psychic. All right. But when you have something pop in that would be so shaking of people that they really look at it and they go, oh my God, how would they know that? All right. That's definitely spirit. And that's where spirit's going to bring the answers and bring the guidance. And it's going to keep coming in stronger for you. I'll put it this way. Haven't you had readings where you felt like, my God, that was amazing, how much came through in such a strong manner? And then you've had readings where you feel like it was a little frustrating, like I didn't feel like I was really, really tapped in the way I'd like to.
Yeah, it's almost like you're tapped into one person, and then it's like it's a hit and a miss with another person, and
Right.
what it seems like.
And remember something also. I've had some clients come in, and not very many do they do this, but it's happened where they would come in and use a different name, and they'd play a game with you. And you look at that at times, and you think, I don't play games. I had one lady come in one time, and I said to her, I said, "Now listen," I said, "I don't feel that you're being honest with me." And I said, a reading is to be spiritually a link of help and healing and guidance. And if you're expecting to get something out of this, you're going to have to be expecting to be honest. And I feel an energy with her that she was cringing because she didn't like the idea that I was picking up on the energy there, that it wasn't the honesty. And I've seen that happen at times in auditoriums and various situations where, well, I don't want them knowing that, or I don't want my family knowing that, or my husband knowing that. And I've seen that happen. And I don't worry about that. I give what I get, and it's there. And I've had some people say no and then come to me afterwards and go, oh my God, you were right. All right. And I see it happen all the time. I've read for over the years now, hundreds of people. I've been a registered medium in Lloydale for 47 years now. And I've worked with this all my life. I gave messages and inspiration stump up there when I was 8 years old. So it's something that I look at the energy of people learning and opening up. Remember, we do have the gifts and understanding. It's the idea of how often have we had the ability to practice it? There's a lot of people that are around us, even at times, sad to say, families that would reject it or shun it. And it's something that, hopefully you have people around you that you can share this with and, in a sense, practice.
Now, when readings, it seems like, of course, once I get going, I can go for like instant messenger or Facebook, type of thing. I can go, and then it's just a text message back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it just keeps, like you said, keeps going.
Yeah.
And then when I
Go ahead.
do it live, it seems like it's kind of a hit and a miss because it's still not. I'm still trying to tone it in, so it's like you said, to bring it in to one level so I can understand it.
Well,
does it matter which way is better, or is it just matter of how you're gonna?
Well, think of it this way.
It?
Whatever way we've practiced and we feel confident in, it grows, and it'll keep growing. But we're needing to recognize the idea that it's like a battery tool. Are we plugging the battery into the flashlight, the power saw, or a sander? It's like we're needing to understand that there's usually one area that as we're opening up to it will work incredibly well. We'll focus on that, and we allow ourselves to keep focused on that. And then when we change it and we're doing it a little different way, like you're saying, whether it be texting or then in person, I find that it doesn't matter to me whether on the phone or Zoom or whatever. I find that Spirit will bring the information to me and through me in the way that's the best. And I don't look at it as a division of what works better than another. I've had people say to me, well, can you read for me over the phone? And would it be better in person? It doesn't matter. The information is going to be there. I feel you've been used to doing it in a way that's more comfortable for you, and it's stretching you a bit to try different ways of doing it.
Okay.
And just let it happen.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Hey, God bless. Anyone else with a little reading they'd like a little reading? Please raise your
We've
hand.
got Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry about the background noise. I'm looking after my nephew.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I think you pretty much answered everything. I'm just having trouble connecting at the moment. I don't know if it's me physically, like not consciously or subconsciously blocking myself with spirit, but I'm just having a lot of trouble connecting at the moment. I was great at connecting, and that lately, just the last few weeks, I'm just not able to. I don't know what it is.
Well, I'll explain it very simply. You're in a transition from one plateau to another, and there was a period of time that you felt confident, calm, focused in what you're doing, and it was not as something you even questioned. You just went with it.
Yeah.
And I feel you're changing plateaus. Now, changing plateau means the vibration you have functioned in and you practiced with that works so well, now you're going to a higher vibration. And as you go to a higher vibration, it's a little bit disruptive because it's almost like saying, okay, I just packed everything in a box and moved my office, and I'm moving it to another location. And as I move it to the other location, I'm certainly feeling a little discombobulated. And
Yeah.
you're moving into a new energy, and I also feel a new guiding influence is stepping in also, and you've been feeling some different energies than what you're not used to.
Yeah, I've been feeling a lot of heat. As you can see, my cheeks get red. I get a lot of heat in my body, and I've been noticing it for probably about a month or so now. I'm not sure if that's a guide or
That's part of the transition of energy, and your body's shifting so you can make a change in your energy and work with it better and easier, and that'll keep expanding for you. And I want to say relax with it and just allow it to occur. And not
okay.
feel like you have to concentrate on it. It isn't the idea of concentrating, it's the idea of allowing it.
Okay, and what about what was I going to say? The anxiety that comes with it. I know it's just the energy flowing, but I get that much anxiety. It feels like my spirit wants to burst out of my body. It's really hard to explain. Like I'll get electric shocks down my arms or legs, and especially feel it in the solar plexus.
Well, I feel with you in the solar plex, the energy is so strong. And what you're having happen is you're having such a high voltage of energy coming in, you're not used to. And when you're not used to it, there's a part of you then that reacts to it by wanting to protect yourself by pushing back at it. And it's coming in very fast and furious. And you're needing to relax with the idea of allowing it, but also put out the intent and thought to spirit and just say, please slow things down for me that I may not only understand, but I'm in comfort with what you're sharing with me. And by
Yeah.
that, presenting that to them, they'll slow things down. They'll adjust it because the spirit world moves at such a high speed that if I didn't have an agreement with them to bring it in at the level that I can handle, I
Yeah.
could be a wild man with all the energy. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm seeing it, where with you, you haven't got the governor on it yet to govern the speed, and that will be then a flow of energy to work much better and easier.
Okay, thank you. That helps very much. Yeah.
You're welcome. God bless you. Anyone
Thank
else? Who'd be next?
Want to just pick someone?
If they'd like a reading.
How about Leanne?
Leanne? Hi, Leanne.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Would you like a reading?
I would. I would love one.
Alrighty. You have a question you want to ask?
Uh, uh, no, I don't have any specific questions. You seem to answer them as I have the questions, and then you're answering them as we go along. So I
Good.
just love listening to you. It's great.
Good. One of the first things around you, I want to say, you sometimes will have things happen that you're almost feeling like you've lived it before. Remember having things occur where you feel like I've been here, I know what the answer is, or I know what they're going to say, or I know what they're going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel that happens a lot with you.
Hmm.
And I'm seeing spirit working with you more, and you're shifting the energy a little bit. Would you understand recently you stepped back from people a bit and you've been reevaluating who you're spending the time, energy, love, and emotions with. And you started to evaluate that even stronger now, where in the past you'd put up with a lot of stuff. And now I see you at a point where I'm not going to put up with what I used to put up with.
Hmm.
That makes sense?
Very. Yeah.
And you've also been thinking about it in a sense of transitioning with work, money, and security, and you've been toying with the idea of what else you want to do.
Hmm.
As I see a change of energy for you coming up as an opportunity, I refer to it as an opportunity because it's a choice level as to what you really want to take on for the future and what's going to be the better choice for you. And I feel you're trying to go with the guidance as to where you feel guided to go with it. And I feel that's working good for you. And would you recognize you did get hurt over some things recently of a friendship you had that it bothered you deeply to think that you don't feel you can really trust them in the manner that you thought you could have?
Hmm. Yeah.
That makes sense?
Very much so. Yeah.
Because I feel like you've gone through something there that was pretty painful to you emotionally, but I'm seeing you stepping aside more now and not taking on all the energy that you used to because you can analyze things so much you can wear the paint off of them.
Hmm. I walk away from it now. I don't try to uh, fix it, engage with it. I just walk away from it, and I hope that
Good.
they find their happiness. But I don't want to be. Yeah. Hmm. You're
Well,
good.
send them the healing energy, walk away
Hmm.
gently, and it's something wonderful for you to make that transition. And I feel you're going to have more of a calmness and not have the upset you had going. I think that's going to make a big difference for you. What, let's say, town or city do you live in?
I'm losing part of what you're saying. I'm the one that emailed you and said I'm in the Catskills. So we had bad weather over the weekend. So my
Oh,
internet's a little shaky.
okay.
If you can just repeat that last sentence.
Well, I was going to say where you were living and you answered it.
Oh,
We're
yeah, I'm in, yeah. Oh, that's
in
even
tune
better. I didn't
tonight.
even,
We're in
I'm
tune
right on the
tonight.
side of the Catskill Mountains in upstate New York. Yeah.
Well, I feel very good with the energy where you are, and I feel very calm. And would you recognize the thought? Now, this is not anything immediate, but you've been considering the idea of changing or getting a new vehicle.
It'd be nice. Yeah.
Because I feel the opportunities coming up that you're going to come into a little more of a windfall of money, and it's going to work out good for you to really get something lined up the way you want it. So that's going to
Nice.
come together. I think that'll be quite nice.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless you. You take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bridget is next.
Hi, Bridget.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good. You have a question?
I don't really have a question either.
Well, one of the things around you, dear, I want to say quite strong, quite stubborn, quite determined, emotionally very sensitive. You take things very deeply. And I feel like recently you pulled back from someone and felt like you thought for a long time you knew them, and you found out what you don't.
Yeah.
And I kept seeing that energy around you that you're stepping aside more now and evaluating it a little bit differently, and it's a good change. And you've been having some thoughts recently that you really consider the idea of making a change in work and money.
Yeah.
Because I see a shift of energy with work and money, and I felt very comfortable that you're going to be moving forward. And it's a nice, and I feel confident in it. I feel like as you make this shift, it's really going to bring you more confidence and focus as to what you're going to be accomplishing.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And also, recently, what's making all the noise around you?
I'm not for sure. It's quiet in here.
Okay. Well, I heard a lot of noise over the air there, but anyway, I've seen a gentleman on the spirit side of life with you that passed away that I felt when he died, he had a problem with chest and heart. I
Yeah.
feel, oh man, I see him with you, loves you, and deserve you. And I see him when he was on the earth plane, thinking about you deeply.
That's my father.
Because he's with you, and I feel really supportive energy. And I see him watching other things for you to have you be aware of the presence. And you had an experience of waking up the one time recently and feeling somebody by your bed?
Yeah.
Because he's showing me that you're opening up more and you're becoming more in tune to what's going on in your life, and that he wishes to help you with that. And I felt a very, very nurturing person.
Okay.
And you've been having some thoughts recently that it's been frustrating you that you see people lie about things and they try to maneuver and manipulate. And I feel like you're catching up to it more and more quickly now than you used to.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I don't see you putting up with some of the games that have gone on. And I feel like it's working better for you. And I really see a positive upturn here of you not only emotionally better, but feeling better in a sense of direction. I see
Oh,
really
good.
things moving. And I feel by spring, you're going to look back at a few things and go, my God, I'm no longer there, and that's great.
Great.
All righty?
Okay. I just said tomorrow's a new day. Need to start over. Day one.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's very good. God bless
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Nancy?
Hi, Nancy.
Hi,
Hi, how are
Hello.
you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing good. Where are you living?
Ohio.
All righty.
Got
You
a
have,
little over a foot.
you have over a foot of snow?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I know Lilydale got it. They got pounded up there. So what's your question?
I'll ask a question to Spirit, and not really directly. I'll just kind of say it out loud, like I wonder what blah blah blah, and about a week later, I'll get an answer through other people.
Yes.
Is there a way I can speed that up?
Yes, I think that can be sped up because what you're doing here is practicing. You're learning that it works, and now I feel that once you know it works and you become more confident in it, that I feel the speeding up of that will occur even faster and more for you. And just put the intent and thought out that it's like, can you share this with me more immediately than what you have in the past? And I feel it'll come through more for you and it'll work better.
Okay.
And you've been finding recently that you've been going through a little transition with a working energy or working environment that you've pulled back a bit and you felt like, I can't help everybody.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a lot of energy flying around and you can't help everybody and fix everybody, even though you'd really like to.
Yes, that's true.
And you've been thinking about it recently that taking time as almost a vacationing feeling, that it's like, I want to take a few days and just be at home.
Yes.
Because I just see you organizing some time here to just be at home and enjoy it. And I felt really comfortable that it's like time out.
Yes.
I think that'll be a wonderful healing energy for you and a need to allow yourself to relax and enjoy it.
Okay, great.
Good. God bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Jean?
Hi, Jean.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Are we running track yet?
No, I'm getting there.
You're getting there? Good.
Yeah, I was having a little trouble with my connection earlier. You guys all disappeared. I had to come back 3 times. I don't know what was up with that, but
Good. You have a question?
yeah, I've been picking up some things that come in that I feel, and then that is what happens. So I would like to tie into that a little more. It seems to be coming a little more, like you said, with other people are picking up on things a little bit more. I'd
Yeah.
like to amplify that. So is there anything that Spirit can tell me that I could make that stronger?
Well, I think it's going to come in stronger because you've already set the intent, and I think that'll expand more. And I feel you're going to have not only more happen, but you may even have some more details come through that are more detailed than what you're used to. And it's going to be really fascinating to watch it happen. And I felt with you, there's going to be some people around you look at you and they're going to wonder why you would not be involved in something or you would say no to something. And I want to say it's because you're going to see and sense the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And the outcome wouldn't be what would be the harmonious energy. And I just feel you'll be aware of it enough that you'll just make sure you're not involved. And that's a good energy.
I am trying for more harmony in all things.
Yes, and I think that'll expand more and work good for you. And you're also going to have Spirit come through in a way that don't be surprised if how you're picking it up changes a little bit, where it'll be just slightly different than what you're used to. And it's going to be interesting to let it happen because I just see it as gradually more in depth of what you're able to feel and sense.
And you mean different than how I perceive it now?
Yeah, even deeper.
But it will come in the same manner, like a sort of an intuitive thing?
Yeah, it'll come an intuitive thing, and it'll start being a little more pronounced where you'll recognize it a little stronger than what you have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's good energy for you. Let yourself relax and enjoy doing it.
Very good.
Good. Good luck with everything there.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Hey, we're winding it up here, and I'll share the information again before we close. That'd be anywhere of reaching me would be 716-595-3529, 716-595-3529, and that would be the business line. And if you'd like to go to the website, that'd be www.rev, R-E-V, Gregory Kehn, Kehn.com. And it's really been a wonderful energy to share with you tonight, and I'm glad everybody came on.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank
You're
you.
more than welcome. You guys take care of yourself. God bless now.